Alexa Nikolas, you stated in your first video that you found my tone overtly aggressive because I decided to call you a raggedy bitch. And for that, I am so incredibly sorry. Because you're not a raggedy bitch. You're a trifling bitch. You went from raggedy bitch to trifling bitch so fast that I'm beginning to think that lying is your skincare routine. Now, Alexa, the reason that I called you a raggedy bitch in the first episode was purely because you're such a huge liar. You say nasty, mean, and hurtful things like power to survivors. Ain't that right, Christie?
Power to survivors, by the way, Paige Christie.
In order to engage some kind of reaction from me, and the moment that I react, all of a sudden we're clutching pearls. How could she ever be so mean to me? You are literally the embodiment of an arsonist telling the fire alarm to stop being so goddamn loud. Honestly, you spread so many lies that the Grim Reaper has to check your pulse twice. You have continued in your rebuttal to me that I advised that you did not do, of continuing to spread lies about you, and honestly, I wouldn't dare compete with the original author. So it's funny to me that you're saying that I'm continuing to spread misinformation, because I'm pretty sure you've got the exclusive license on that, sweetie. It's like being accused of shoplifting by the guy who's walking out of the store with the shopping cart. Honestly, if hypocrisy was Wi-Fi, this bitch would have the strongest signal. But the reason that I'm choosing to rename you a trifling bitch is simply because you lied on a teenage survivor and you are continuing to lie to this day. So this is exactly why I speak crazy to you. And I'll do it again. Bah, bah. Because I genuinely am thinking it's one of two things. Either you don't give a fuck about survivors, or you are such a narcissist that you literally can't help survivors in any capacity. So before I get into responding to all of the most pertinent points it is that you made in your live stream about me, which by the way, that was a really cute photograph. Thank you so much. You are definitely a girl's girl. Let's take a quick look at my live stream response to the lies it is that you continue to tell. The lie it is that you chose to tell on Ethan Klein's H3 platform. I would rehash this to you guys, you know, petty gang. Again, but honestly, during my Twitch live stream, I got so emotional. I feel like it's important for you to see the impact it is that your words have, not just on the survivors who are actually involved in the lies it is that you are spreading, but also the survivors who have to sit on the sidelines and watch. People like me. If we go over, right, to Alexa Nikolas speaking to Ethan Klein 5 days ago in the Alexa Nikolas Tell All, Adam McIntyre tried to ruin my life exclusive interview. Honestly, it sounds like a fucking Rich Lux title. And here she sits down and says why she decided that she was not going to be, you know, speaking about the Drake Bell situation and what changed her mind. Because if you remember from my last video, I said, I don't remember there being anything in the information it is that you brought that shook the table to me. What moved you in what it is that you saw? What moved you in what it is that you saw that you now have changed your stance? Because I read what you put out, and quite frankly, it didn't change anything for me. So what changed it for you?
Because if it's the documents it is that you posted online, bitch, ain't nothing to change my stance there. So what moved you? What moved and shook the table, bitch? What moved you?
So let's listen to what it is that Alexa Nikolas sat down and said to Ethan Klein on his, how many million? 2.63 million subscriber platform. Let's take a listen.
And it was like, oh, and then when he realized what her age was, he disengaged speaking to her immediately. That was not the narrative I was told. It was that he was grooming her since the age of 12.
Alexa, this is some fucking bullshit. This is some fucking bullshit. That when he found out how old she was, he immediately ceased contact. That's a lie. There's no other way to put that. There is no other way. I was sitting there thinking, oh, let me think about, you know, the legal way of saying this, the legal way of putting this. That was a lie. That is not what the documents show, not in any capacity. In fact, it shows flagrantly the opposite. So let's go back. If you can see here on the upload dates. The first two ones is the photo evidence that was received from the victim and the birthday card. So let's have a look at the photo evidence that was received by the victim, right? These have all been censored. I've double checked that it was censored to a good capacity. Drake Bell sends heart eyes on the 19th of August 2017. She gives a heart. He sends a photograph. It doesn't seem to show his entire nude, but it was semi-naked, right? Then she said, oh, look, then we have a gap, and then we shift over to August 23rd, 2017. See you October 7th. What show is that? Ballydoyle. He goes, sweet. How old are you now? She says 15. Remember, at this point, August 23rd, 2017. Okay, then we move over to September 17th, 2017, where she says, where she reposts something it is that he posted. Then we go, so do you. Next one, over here. Inappropriate image sent by minor. I'm imagining. That's what I'm thinking, right? Over here goes, wow, what are you doing? Great pic. Not as good as yours, way better. That booty. Then she does a smiley face. He says, more? Question mark. And then she says, too risky. She sent an inappropriate photograph to him after he knew that she was 15. And then he requested more. He found out that she was 15. At this point, he might not have known. Maybe he doesn't know he's talking to a 15-year-old. But then here, how old are you now? 15. And then here, he asks for more. And it was her who stopped because she said, it's too risky. Are we still friends to a minor? You can read this for yourself. Alexa has it pinned to her profile. Right here, it's pinned to Alexa's profile. You can read this shit for yourself. So when she says...
When he realized what her age was, he disengaged speaking to her immediately.
Here we have another piece that was sent, a written letter. It is that Drake Bell sent to her. 16 candles, wishes and dreams, exciting adventures, endless fun, time of your life. And he says, wow, 16, you are such an incredible person. I'm so lucky to have you as an amazing fan and now underlined friend. Have an awesome birthday. See you soon. On a sweet 16 message. So he knew that she was 15. But at 16, he sent her a birthday card. They ceased conversation, huh? They ceased conversation. They weren't talking anymore. Had that have been the case, girl, I don't think anybody would have given a shit. It would have been like a, oops, should probably do better research, more due diligence. But then she went on and told this lie to H3's huge fucking audience. Huge fucking audience. When we're sitting here and we're talking about giving victims the space to express themselves and to tell their stories, people like you are the reason that victims don't come forward. Because you just lied. You lied. On a 15-year-old girl, you lied. On a 15-year-old girl who had the courage to come forward and tell her story, you lied. You lied, and you lied to fucking Ethan's audience. You lied. You said that he never continued conversation because you know the audience won't have a look. You know that they won't cross-reference. He sent her a sweet 16 card. You lied. He didn't find out her age and stop. He found out her age and asked her for more pictures. You lied. You lied and you are a liar. When I tell you I was driving in my car screaming because this is not a safe space. I'm reading through parts of this document and there's other pieces you can go and have a look where she's speaking to her friend about wanting to come forward and telling her story. She doesn't want to tell her story because she doesn't want people to know. She doesn't want people to know that it was her. She doesn't want people to know what had happened. She was ashamed. What if they don't believe me? But because you wanted kudos points with Drake Bell, you negate all of that. And you want to sit there and call yourself an advocate for survivors, an advocate for victims. You ain't an advocate for shit but your fucking self. You ain't an advocate for shit but your fucking self. Because how dare you sit down and say that he stopped all conversation, he ceased communication as soon as he found out how old he was. I was under the impression he was grooming her since 12 years old. Okay, we can't say that there were 100% news. It was definitely inappropriate photographs, and that's why he's got a felony charge. And you wanted to sit down and be pally, buddy with a man who sat down after finding out that somebody was 15 years old and asked for more? More. It's too risky, says the minor. That's why when you're sitting there on your platform and you're like, she's very aggressive and, she came at me kind of strong and why doesn't she respect me? I don't respect you. I will never respect you. I will never respect you. I will never respect you because guess what? You can call me a slop channel. You can tell me I don't do my research. You can call me obnoxious. You can call me a hater. You can call me a bitch. You can call me aggressive. You can call me angry. But you know what you will never be able to call me? A person who would actively and retroactively go against the victim in favor for myself. You will never be able to say that about me. So I could be the worst person in the world and I would still be better than you. And that's the fucking truth. I can't believe that those are the first two links. The first two links, additional photo evidence and birthday card information, all in a PDF. I can't believe that those are the first two links. And you had the fucking gall, the audacity to sit down on Ethan Klein's platform and say,
when he realized what her age was, he disengaged speaking to her immediately. That was not the online...
That is a fucking lie. That is a lie. You are a liar and you lied on a child victim. You lied on a child victim for your own personal narrative, for your own personal gain. You are a liar. You are not an advocate for victims. You are not an advocate for anything. And I will never respect you. And to Ethan Klein, who sat down and listened to this story, you've got a woman who has just flagrantly lied about a child victim in a case that you have platformed to your 2.6 million people with 200,000 views. Take the video down. It is defamatory, it is a lie, and it has a flagrant disregard for victims. And if you yourself care about victims, especially child victims, you would take this fucking video down. Take the video down. Shit like this is the reason that victims don't come forward. Shit like this is the reason that they get scared. Because no one's gonna believe them. Especially if a Hollywood actor, a child star, comes onto a platform with 2.5 million fucking people and says, that person they stopped talking. I don't know what she's talking about. What would give people the bravery to come forward, especially at that young age? While she sit down for the rest of this fucking stream, goddammit, and just kiki and ha-ha and laugh about Adam McIntyre being a goddamn rat. And you want to talk about, oh, she needs to be kinder. Were you kind to Adam McIntyre? You're a fucking piece of shit. You're garbage, trash, garbage, trash human being. Trash human being. And if anyone can look at this and look at what I have said to you and look for themselves, this is the thing. She says, go and read the shit. Go and read it. Go and read it. I second her opinion. Go and read it. Go and look at the documents. Look at the documents it is that she's posted. Look at the case. Look at the messages. Look at the back and forth. Look at the testimonies. Look at it for yourself. And tell me how in the fucking world you would ever come to that conclusion. Based on the information it is that you would have before you, how in the fucking world would you ever come to that conclusion? So yeah, people are fucking pissed off with you, babes. They're pissed off with you. You decide to sit down, kiki, hee, hee, ha, ha, with fucking Drake Bell at his show. And you don't get to brush this off as, maybe we can champion, change. Maybe we can champion recovery. Let him recover by his goddamn self. It is called the cycle of abuse for a reason. He didn't end the cycle. And you know what makes it even worse? What makes it even worse is that this was a baby. That's the part. That's the part that fucks me up, bro. More than anything, is that this was a baby. This was a 15-year-old. And had this been anybody else on the internet, everybody would have said, no, that's not okay. But because it's Drake Bell, what? Because he gave us Drake and Josh? Fuck off. Who cares? Who cares? Great sitcom, terrible person. I don't care. Every child deserves protection, and you, as an adult and as an advocate in this space, were meant to protect her, and you didn't. You fed her to the wolves. You lied. So quite frankly, I don't give a fuck about Captain Paige's fucking lawsuit. I don't give a shit. Who gives a fuck? She lied on you. If she did, great. Who gives a fuck? I literally don't care. You want us to focus on the things that have happened to you and how you are the victim in this situation because you were lied on, and the lies it is that was told on you has affected you severely. Then what about the fucking lies it is that you just told? How it affects her? How it affects how she navigates this universe? Feeling that she's alone. That no one fucking cares. That it doesn't matter what it is that she says, even the story, even if it's documented, will be told completely different to the audience in a way that suits the narrator. I don't care that you were lied on. The lies that were told about you, allegedly, only affect you monetarily. Only affect your public rapport. Only affect your public standing. The lies that you just told on Ethan Klein's platform will affect this girl's life. Forever. And because of the lie it is that you told, one less person will come forward, will share their story, will stand up, will say anything. One less person. Anyway, that's what pissed me off today. We're going to go back and watch her stupid shenanigans. If I skim through, I skim through. I've got some other receipts it is that I want to go over. Sweet 16. Sweet 16, bro.
And I don't blame your criticism. And I understand your criticism. I really do. And that's not what I'm upset about.
I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah, I need a break. I'm sorry. Sorry. I need to take a break. My mum's ringing. Sorry. I need to take a break.
You good, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just saying to guys, like, I don't think a lot of people understand what it's like to be scared to speak. And, like, to have it on such a huge platform as well.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, I don't even want to set myself off again, but I couldn't imagine, bro.
Do you set 5?
Oh, God. Okay, no, I'm good. I'm good.
You
I got
good?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Love
Love ya. I got it. So that is why the video is called The Evil That Is Alexa Nikolas. Because the harm that you do to other people truly is pure evil. And I'm about to lay that out today. We are about to hear a story from an alleged victim called M, who shares in detail her experience on the Alexa Nikolas Discord and what it was that she alleges that her and the people around Alexa had to endure. And we are also going to see how Kat Tembaj's 18 questions definitely do correlate to the experiences that a lot of people are alleging that they have experienced at the hands of Alexa Nikolas. But before we get into all of that, I'd just like to say hello, hi guys. Thank you so much for all of the support on the last video. Petty Gang, you have shown out in a way that I was not expecting, especially since I took quite a long hiatus, kind of refinding myself. I told you guys that I was going to be responding to Alexa's video, and I did in full on my Twitch. So if you would like to see the full unedited, like me responding to every single point, definitely go ahead and take a look at my Twitch channel. It'll be in the description down below. But this is just going to be the Cliff Notes version. I am literally just going to be answering the most important questions. Because Alexa Nikolas decided to do a 3-hour live stream in regards to this, and I'm sure a lot of us do not have the time. So I'm going to try my best to condense this as much as possible. But we also have some new information as well. So this whole thing is just going to be, you need to stay for the whole journey to really, really get it. But without further ado, let's get into the first chapter, which is addressing Alexa Nikolas's main points and main grievances with me. So the first point it is that Alexa makes is in regards to me stating that it was absolutely diabolical that she would hang out with Drake Bell after knowing all of the things it is that we know about his suit and about him being charged with felony crimes against children. Alexa's response to me is that meeting Drake as a survivor doesn't necessarily mean that she is condoning his actions.
When people saw the footage with Drake Bell and how I explained to Ethan, you know, going and seeing him and telling him, like, you know what? That was brave of you. I'm glad you did that. I'm sorry what happened to you. All of that wasn't condoning any harm. It was just realizing that person has been harmed and wanting to make sure this doesn't happen again.
And honestly, my simple response to that is you could have just chosen to speak to Drake one-on-one and not go to his performance. You certainly didn't have to go and hang out backstage with him. And because of those actions, you do have to take responsibility for how it may be perceived by the audience. The next thing it is that Alexa Nikolas decided to do in her video was use a clip of me where I'm speaking about Patrice Wilson to qualify what it is that she feels about Drake Bell. Take a look at the clip and we'll discuss this a little further.
So she's talking about here, right? Like the idea of how Twitter, for example, or these social media platforms, somebody can say an allegation and it can travel far and wide and it could impact someone's life. And what if that person, right, wasn't somebody who did that harm? This is what she's talking about.
Some allegations don't go beyond an informal complaint, but they can still affect somebody's employment status or even their standing within the community. Significant damage can be done to alleged perpetrators in circumstances when there have been no finding of guilt.
But listen to your own words here, because you're talking about what's actually transpired in the court of law or when it comes to police, right? You're talking about something very similar here. And I find it kind of interesting.
This has created a catch-22 situation wherein being alert to the needs of those who claim to be victims can adversely have the effect of overlooking those who are victims of wrongful allegations.
Woo! That, is anyone feeling uncomfortable? Because I think it's actually okay to, this still makes me uncomfortable as a survivor. You're like, oh, false allegations, like, no. And what? And then feeling bad for the person who is being accused. Right? Here's a tough, sticky conversation she's actually bringing to the table.
Okay, so what's wild about this take from Alexa is that the video it is that she is taking this reference from is about Patrice Wilson, a person who her friend Ethan Klein, aka Pedo Troll, made numerous videos about early on in the 2010s. He made sexually aggressive jokes about the minors involved in Patrice's videos, as well as out and out just insinuating to a high degree, in my personal belief, that Patrice Wilson was a pedophile.
There, I guess that's Mr. Wilson. Looking like the nice neighborhood pedophile there, Mr. Wilson. Holding what looks like a phallic object, a little 8-year-old girl, and a big, giant black man looking in on her, man. It's like Blackzilla. This guy's got a weird fantasy, dude. Blackzilla, a little 8-year-old white girl with blonde hair. He likes it. He likes him white and blonde. You ready to take a ride on the pussy wagon? Patrice is like,
Now, what is vastly different between the Patrice Wilson case and the Drake Bell case is that with Drake Bell, he has a victim who has actually caused him to catch charges in relation to crimes against children. Patrice Wilson had no victims, no child victims, no adult victims, no victims of any capacity came forward and said that Patrice Wilson harmed me in any way. The only person who was disseminating that kind of information on the internet was your dear friend Ethan Klein, aka Pedo Troll. I say all of this to say that the Patrice Wilson case is nothing like the Drake Bell case because Patrice Wilson did not have any victims. Nobody went to the police. He wasn't charged. He wasn't even put in jail. He didn't serve any time. There wasn't even an allegation. The only person leveraging that allegation was your dear friend Pedo Troll. So stop conflating the two as if they are the same or it deserves the same nuance and balance because we are talking about an alleged predator with enough substantiated evidence that it made them catch a felony charge versus somebody who was accused of being a predator with no tangible proof, no victims, and nothing of the sort. Stop convoluting the two. They are not the same. And quite frankly, it is a massive disrespect to survivors for you to convolate these two things as the same. The next point it is that Alexa makes is the repeating of the narrative that Kat Tembage helped facilitate Adam McIntyre to get alcohol. This is tangibly false. I said it in my last video, but let me make it even more clearer with some more receipts. I posted 2 episodes from the Adam McIntyre channel that are still up on his channel that basically show the timeline of events. In the first video, which is the first day in America, we see Adam McIntyre and Kat Tembage meeting each other for the very first time, then them going out to dinner and meeting Sloane that evening, and we also see Adam McIntyre sitting outside of what we believe to be a dispensary, whilst Kat Tembage and Sloane Hooks go into the venue, which is an above 21 venue, and Adam McIntyre being left outside.
Okay, so we're now back in the hotel room for just a little bit. We are going out to dinner. Now, we just got off the phone with Sloane. We are going to a restaurant called, is it Tom Tom's? Tom Tom. And he organized reservations, whatever, so we're expecting to be wowed by Sloane tonight. No, but I know a lot of people are really excited for us to all meet up. We have a very similar audience, so that's going to be great. I can't wait to meet him, and Kat can't wait to meet him and have a great dinner together. So we are going to be going there. We just came back to the hotel because we really did just kind of rush out to that photo shoot thing. So it's like Lisa Vanderpump or something's restaurant. I don't know, my mom's obsessed with it, and it's where Sloane wanted to go, so we went there and we had a great meal. However, the weirdest thing about America is because I'm 19, I'm not 21, I can't go into most of the shops that like Kat, Sloane, his boyfriend and stuff are going into, so I'm like waiting outside while they like go in or else they won't get served. This is so weird. In the UK and Ireland, it's 18 for like everything, but I can barely do anything here. Jesus. Okay, so this is the moment that I think every single commenter that watches my videos has been waiting for. Literally everyone has been freaking out about the fact that Sloane and I were going to be seeing each other in LA. Now, the Free Britney rally is tomorrow, so I mean, it was kind of like by chance, but also like for certain that we were going to be in LA at the
Yeah,
same
you knew
time.
I was going to be here. Because
So that's why I came. I organized the trip around that, and yeah.
I did organize dinner tonight, though. And I'm proud to say that everyone showed up, which is like rare in my life. Everyone takes on me. No one ever comes to anything I do. Always a few seats empty. I'm like, sorry, waiter.
Now, here is my small amount of grace that I am willing to give Sloane. It is a potential that Sloane gave Adam McIntyre the ID with intention that he would be able to partake in going into over 21 venues, but not necessarily for Adam McIntyre to indulge in drinking in alcohol. However, I will say that that is the risk that Sloane decided to take when he gave Adam McIntyre his ID. Then, in the second clip, we see Adam McIntyre and Kat Tembage drinking before they go to the Free Britney rally, which is where they met Sloane for the second time, and Kat Tembage is in the room present whilst Adam McIntyre is drinking.
Hi, Muckers, welcome back to day 2 in Los Angeles. Okay, today is the day that we free Britney. I'm very excited about it. We woke up today at like 9 a.m. It's currently about to be 1 p.m. So we've just been getting ready from that time. We did go out for coffee earlier, then we went for more coffee to get Taylor Swift's drink. Kat so kindly got me both because my card got fucking declined. Yay! So wait. Okay, so this is my outfit. I don't have a Britney shirt. If I find one, I'm changing into it. I have these little like shorts on too. Kat's outfit is showing me up. Oh god, look at the back of it. Okay, so this outfit is so cute. So we're gonna be going to, I think it's the Stanley Moss Warehouse. That one. And Sloane and his boyfriend are already there. We told them we were gonna meet them at 11. We're gonna be meeting them at like 1:30. So it's gonna be great. I'm super excited. This is gonna be such a monumental and overdue day, and I can't wait to bring you along with me.
Now, whilst we can completely 100% clarify at this point based on these two clips of day 1 and day 2 in America, which again is both still on his channel, nobody tried to hide it, just nobody gave a fuck to look. But we can see that Kat Tembage did not help or facilitate Adam McIntyre having alcohol in any capacity. But she was there physically whilst he was drinking alcohol, and she was above the age of 21. Now, is there some legalities there? Potentially. Is the statute of limitations around that situation completely done? Yes. And does the state of California retroactively charge people for crimes of this nature? No. Therefore, whether you want to condemn Kat Tembage, or whether you want to condone Sloan, or whether you want to condone Adam McIntyre, is neither here nor there. It is all said and done, and nothing can be done about it. The point that I was making is that it was an incorrect, false assertion that was posted in the lawsuit, which in of itself is misinformation. So whilst yes, wrong in America, realistically, it doesn't make a fucking difference. It's just a mistruth. And if we're gonna say that people are being defamatory in a lawsuit, then at least get your shit together. That was the only point that I was trying to make. But again, Alexa is still continuing to make the assertion that Kat Tembage somehow helped or facilitated or aided in Adam McIntyre getting alcohol, when that is simply untrue. None of the evidence suggests that, and it should not have been put in the lawsuit. The next point it is that Alexa makes is me saying that the documents are sealed. She once again states that this is a lie because the documents were not in fact sealed.
I responded to that tweet
I
and
support
I said,
also.
the court documents are sealed. That's why the allegations that people
There
are
it
making.
is. So see, and where do you, Paige? I have a question. Just an honest. I've been very transparent here. Who told you they were sealed documents?
However, the assumption that the documents were sealed was not an assertion it is that I got from Kat Tembage. It was a general consensus that the internet had kind of come to the conclusion of, due to the fact the only people who had access to these documents at this point from the Cleveland, Ohio Police Department was Alexa. And it wasn't until almost a year later did she even show the documents and where they actually came from. Now, what I will say is this lawsuit pertaining to Kat Tembage and Alexa Nikolas is down to the idea that Kat lied about it being sealed, therefore Kat spread misinformation. Now, I am not involved in that lawsuit, but what I will say today, in the same way that I said in my live stream, if Alexa is able to get justice against Kat in this lawsuit, I will happily make an amendment. And at present on my channel, if you go ahead and take a look right now, I have made a small amendment to say the nature of the documents being sealed or unsealed is currently under investigation. Not only does that cover myself legally, because honestly, quite frankly, I do not want no lawsuits, but hopefully that will allow Alexa to calm down about something that, quite frankly, I'd still believe to be somewhat insignificant. And this also stands as proof that I will make an amendment and also give an explanation, something that Alexa struggles to do. Now, the last most relevant point it is that Alexa makes in this entire 3-hour-long live stream is that I am somehow connected to Kat Tembage and Okie Dokie. And this is all based on a video that Alexa shows of Okie Dokie thanking me for giving her a microphone.
One more thing before we do, though, I do want to say a huge thank you to Paige Christie for this beautiful, beautiful microphone. I would not have been able to.
Interesting that a lot of these YouTube channels that were spreading this misinformation are all connected to Kat. So Kat's connected to Ophie, Kat's connected to Paige Christie, Kat's connected to Adam McIntyre, and then now I'm finding out Paige Christie is also connected to Okie Dokie. And I don't know if anyone's seen these videos, but like, let's get real.
Okay, I don't know what you thought this was, or if you thought this was a gotcha, but it really isn't. First and foremost, I am not friends with Kat Tembage. The only times I've ever spoken to Kat Tembage has been in relation to an article that she's included me in. This includes about 2 different Zoom calls for when she was working for Business Insider, and the odd request for a statement in regards to a story it is that she's working on. Beyond that, I know absolutely nothing about Kat Tembage. We don't talk. Whenever we've talked, it's to do with business, and now more recently your lawsuit, because she's asked me to help her out with some evidence because I archive fucking everything, and I gave her the evidence it was that she was looking for. But even then, there's no kiki. I'm not like, hey, how are you, girl? How you doing? I hope all is well. Like, we're not having those conversations. So that assertion is wild to me. I'm just a person who's very straight down the line. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And if I see injustice, I'm going to call it out. The second one is to do with Okie Dokie getting a microphone from me. I gifted her a microphone. This is not something that is new. People who follow me on Twitch, we know that I do this. I've gifted microphones to loads of different content creators. I was going to name names, but I'm actually not going to do that because I'm not trying to get any kind of social media kudos or clout from that. But I'm going to say that probably a lot of the commentators it is that many of you watch, a lot of the people who have suddenly boomed in the past couple of months and years have probably been gifted something by me. Gifting microphones is something that I do regularly. In fact, there is another content creator who I gifted an entire camera. And I've done this for content creators, not just in the commentary space, but outside of the commentary space. I've given microphones to Sims content creators. Simply, if I like what you're doing and you're doing a great job and I think that you just need a little hand and a kind of leg up in the creator world that I never got, I'm gonna do it. I'm not entirely sure how being a good person or being a good Samaritan is a gotcha. And as for me being quote unquote friends with Ophi, I literally reached out one time to gift her the microphone and we have never spoken since. Like, no conversation at all. She thanked me on the channel, we kept it pushing. So no, I'm not friends with Okie Dokie. I don't know anything about her either. I just liked her content, I loved her vibe, I enjoyed the nuance corner, and I thought that she needed help with sound quality. That was it. So I don't know what this is, but being a good human isn't a gotcha. But alas, you think we're all connected. The only person that I am remotely friendly with is Adam Mcintyre, and that's only because I covered his Colleen Ballinger story and we started speaking a little bit after that. But even then, we aren't friends because he's a lot younger than me, and I don't tend to be friends with people who are younger than me. I suggest Drake Bell does the same. However, Alexa's main claim is that nobody is taking the time to read the lawsuit, to go through the exhibits, to really focus on the matter at hand, which is the situation between herself and Kat Tembage and how she lied and defamed her, and all of the things it is that she believes that Kat Tembage has done that goes beyond the scope of her actual role as a journalist to maliciously harm Alexa and her reputation. She said that nobody wanted to look. I did look. I had already looked, but you want me to delve deeper and focus on you and the story at hand? I am more than willing to do it. So let's go into the next chapter, which is the survivors of Alexa Nikolas. Ever since the Drake Bell video it is that I did last year, where I briefly spoke about Alexa Nikolas, there have been several people who have claimed to be the survivor of you. I never touched any of these allegations because I felt like it was extremely he said, she said territory. However, since my last video it is that I did on Alexa, the number of these survivors coming forward to me has only amplified. Now, I was apprehensive to even go into this territory considering the 18 questions it is that Kat Tembage actually had for Alexa Nikolas was in relation to many of these alleged survivors and the harms it is that Alexa may or may not have caused to her community. And honestly, realistically, I am just not in the business of having an international lawsuit at this time, okay? My kids have just got into school. Let me just kind of get into the groove of it. But again, I'm a mom, so my kids will always come before my mouth. So what I will do is share a direct exhibit from Alexa Nikolas's own lawsuit, which is the direct email that Kat Tembage sent to Alexa Nikolas with the aforementioned 18 questions. And many of those was in relation to Eat Predators and the Eat Predators community and the allegations about Alexa surrounding that community. Now, all 18 questions will be on the screen for you as the viewer to look through and decipher for yourself. However, I will only be reading out the ones that are going to be pertinent to the next clip it is that we're going to discuss. What are Alexa's credentials and professional experiences regarding victim advocacy? Has she ever worked for or been involved in any other advocacy groups besides Eat Predators? Does she have any training, such as from the National Organization of Victim Advocacy? Based on information from 3 sources with direct knowledge, is it correct that Alexa initially assumed a highly visible ambassador role within Eat Predators as the member with the largest pre-existing existing social media following? How would Alexa respond to the characterization that she is crafting revisionist history of the origins of Eat Predators? Based on information with 5 sources with direct knowledge and public social media posts, is it fair to say that Alexa has driven internal and external conflicts regarding Eat Predators, including personal attacks against other members and efforts to turn the rest of the group against the specific members? Why has Alexa used the Eat Predators YouTube channel to attack former members of the group? What purpose does this serve within victim advocacy? Did Alexa and or Eat Predators YouTube moderator delete comments on Eat Predators live streams and or live chats containing information disputing the claims of a former member stealing money from the survivors? Why did Alexa establish Eat Predators as a for-profit entertainment company, with Alexa serving in every executive position? How was the money from Eat Predators Patreon subscriptions used before Eat Predators was filed as a for-profit entertainment company? How was the money from Patreon used after the filing? Have all Eat Predators Patreon members received the free merchandise associated with certain subscription tiers? This question is based on information from a source as well as public comment on social media asking for undelivered stickers. Did Alexa offer to pay an Eat Predators Discord moderator California minimum wage? How does Eat Predators track for hours performed? This is based on information from 2 sources and a screenshot of Alexa offering to pay the California minimum wage. How does Alexa respond to a former Discord moderator saying that they were paid less than California minimum wage for the hours that they worked, despite an agreement? So there you are, Alexa. That's me reading the lawsuit that you claim that I don't read. This was Exhibit F for your ass. The rest of the questions are in relation to a situation with somebody she has a restraining order against. Honestly, I don't care to delve into that situation anymore due to me not wanting to aggravate the alleged, stalker any further. At the end of the day, she's a mom, she's got kids, and I value her safety at least, even if I don't respect her as a person. But I'm showing all of this because yesterday I was informed about an Alexa Nikolas survivor who had posted on YouTube a video with receipts detailing her time within the Discord of Alexa Nikolas's Eat Predators collective. This member's allegations seem to somewhat coincide with many of the questions it is that Kat Tembaj asked Alexa Nikolas in the Holy Grail 18 questions. So this is M's account, in her own words, amplified for visibility but not defamation, because I know how y'all niggas like to sue. So M starts off by stating that she is a published author who basically was doing research about advocacy groups around survivors because her book is about her own CSA survivor story. And that's when she was introduced to the Eat Predators Collective.
So I'm a published author, and I found Eat Predators through researching organizations for survivors, because my book that I published happens to be about my survivor story. And I was looking up organizations that helped shared survivors' voices. And Eat Predators came along my research, and I was like, oh, isn't that the girl from Zoe 101 that played like the ditzy character? I went down the rabbit hole of like her YouTube channel, and I was like, wow, okay, I can support this. I like the logo. I like the movement. In November 2023, I became a paying member of Eat Predators. I was paying $11.11.
Now, in this video, she explains the 2 generations of Eat Predators, which was law that I was not aware of. And she also explains the hierarchy within the Eat Predators collective. Yes, there's levels to this, babe. Take a look.
There are 2 generations of Eat Predators, and there is a hierarchy of Eat Predators. We're going to dissect this. The first generation members of Eat Predators are like the founders of the whole movement, and they knew each other in person. I guess they went around like protesting and all this stuff. This lore goes so deep with the first generation that like Alexa has made Guess Who videos about like each ex-member that she has like beef with. Within this first generation of members began to retaliate against Alexa. One of them even became a vengeful stalker towards Alexa. Till this day, she has an RO. So it's very intense stuff within that one person. However, other members did retaliate against her, splitting the Discord and the members in half. So Within that time, some members chose Alexa's side and other members chose the members speaking out against her. Because of all this disarray, Alexa shut down the Discord and took a step back from the movement to take a break. And she took that break, I guess, until the fall of 2023, because that's when the Discord is reinstated and the first generation of members that were on Alexa's side, they now became the moderators of the second generation of the Discord. And that leads us to fall of 2023. The second generation of the Discord is up and running. New members are pouring in. The hierarchy of Eat Predators. Alexa and her husband, Michael, which I believe he went by Miko, something like that. Then it was this wild card of a lady, Alexandra. Alexandra is Alexa's mother. She would only aggressively show up in like the YouTube comment section on Alexa's lives. She wasn't in the Discord. It's insane type of like interactions with her within that comment section on those lives. And then next we have moderators. Now the moderators are the people that stuck through the mud with Alexa within the first generation of Eat Predators. After moderators is voice chat moderators, and this only consisted of second generation members. Then we have the Survivor Listening Circle leader, and this is an ex-friend of Alexa's. And then lastly, on the hierarchy is the Eat Predators paying members. If you were on the Discord, you were giving Alexa some type of income monthly, okay? I just want to state that.
Details that Alexa's relationship with a lot of the members in Discord was extremely deep and, in her words, manipulative.
So this alleged social predator has accusations of befriending supporters, emotionally manipulating them, and turning supporters against each other within the Discord. Allegedly, she would make phone calls to members even if they lived overseas in different time zones. She would call these people at 3 a.m. in their time zone to allegedly go on rants about other members or about her personal frustrations or issues.
Alexa called one of the members who she knows is on the spectrum. Alexa called me tonight. I've been so overwhelmed. Alexa just kind of did a number on me. She honestly makes me so anxious. Another member who became a moderator said the way I would describe her is like a boss that only talks to you if they need you. A boss that doesn't care about you in any way. Alexa was spamming the moderator group chat yesterday. Blank had a medical event happen because Blank was stressed. Alexa pretty much glossed over it and carried on ranting. She also made a chat to set me and Blank up. Alexa and the main moderator ambushed in a chat. They were acting like they didn't know about the situation to see if Blank and I would say anything. That was triggering because the feeling of being manipulated and set up. And then on the phone call with just me, she basically told me she set us up and sounded really proud of it.
Allegedly, Alexa collects screenshots from members and creates drama with them, and she also plays favoritism. All this allegedly behind the scenes happening while she's eating up all the glory and adoration that the members are giving her after each live.
States that she first questioned Alexa Nikolas's leadership skills when she continued a Discord-only live stream, which was like a book club of sorts, during a time when one of the members of this book club was having a medical emergency.
So the perks about being a paying member was to be on the Discord and also be involved in book clubs, which was a live voice chat with Alexa discussing a book. Through these book club live chats, Alexa got to know a lot of us on a personal level to the point of like knowing our names and recognizing like our voices. I myself and others were enjoying the community. We felt seen. We had a sense of safety. We really did have respect for each other, becoming friends, vulnerable survivors who were looking for a community that we can relate to. And we found one. So we thought. It was around late December 2023, and other members were in a book club voice chat with Alexa. When a member had a medical event happen in the live chat, Alexa was very aware that this medical event happened often with this person.
When did it happen?
So I was at work in May, and I just suddenly got like a really bad headache. And then slowly I began to lose my speech. Couldn't speak for like a week. Like every time I tried to speak, I just made sounds. And sometimes that happens again, but not for quite as long. But like,
I'm so sorry.
And Alexa allegedly was quickly concerned and said, "Oh, wait, doesn't that happen all the time?" She asked somebody to check on the member because the member left. Once she got confirmation about this member being checked on, she continued to proceed with the context of the book club. But she didn't read the room. We did not want to move on with the context of the book. We wanted to make sure that our friend was like literally okay.
States and shows footage of Alexa allowing a member of the Discord group chat speak uninhibited about slavery and Nazis in a way that was overwhelmingly positive to the oppressor. And allegedly this person did this for a while without any interjection.
And how slavery actually hurts the masters because they're actually the weakest of us all. They are the weakest people I've ever met in my goddamn life. You cannot have an honest conversation with them, which is why I now realized that they were probably connected to MK Ultra because their father ran a college and then they became therapists. And it's like, oh, shit. And he ran a college during Gettysburg College during a time, the longest president during a time where they built the most buildings. And I bet you when they were building those buildings, they built places for experiments. And I want to research that and to make videos and ask people, are you a survivor? If you're alive, what happened? If I'm right, they were fucking crazy.
Wow.
So, and like when I read about these Nazi people and their family, honestly, some of these Nazis were nicer than my family. They were able to emotionally be more.
Is it sorry? I can't be here. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the time and I'm like, I can't. I know that we're trying to like be mindful of everyone's time in the queue. So I just wanted to
wrap that up.
Yes.
In estimation, I really think that I need to talk to you more because I think that the mind control people are going to be after you, and I would like to share with you what I've learned. And
Thank you so much.
From dating people that I'm never going to talk about on the internet because they're like literally too dangerous to even mention here. So I really want you to benefit from knowing what's out there and what might come for you. Because like if we know what's out there, then we have the power, because knowledge about what's really happening is what gives us the power. So that's
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I love you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night too. End this. I don't even know who else is in the queue actually. I lost the queue because everyone's talking. Oh, wait.
States that after this situation, a lot of members complained, and then that member was swiftly removed. However, to avoid, I guess, trolling in the Alexa Nikolas Eat Predators Discord server, states that Alexa prompted all current Discord members to upgrade their membership in order to prove that they weren't, I guess, trolls. This is what says. This is not what I'm saying, okay? So you can get your little lawsuit guy and tell him to settle down.
Allegedly, Alexa told everyone in order to like show that you're like a real member, just upgrade your membership. And she used like an example, like say if you have a $2 membership, you can upgrade to the $5 membership. And I just like see that as a huge red flag, because how is that going to prove anything that you're not a troll? You know what I mean? Yikes, girl.
Speaks about an overwhelming sense of unprofessionalism from Alexa Nikolas, that she would make promises that she wouldn't usually keep, like, you know, stating that she was going to be doing something called Survivor of the Week, where people would send in their survivor stories and take time to really share their personal experiences, and that she was going to be reading one every week, but then she just wouldn't. And there's a situation with and her book where she said that she was going to promote it, but then she didn't. Honestly, at this point, considering the severity of where this situation goes, according to very trivial things, but just overall adds to the lack of professionalism and the lack of care that the Eat Predators Collective was handled with, in M's opinion.
You kind of kept like, oh, I'm going to promote the book thing, and like it never came to. And then, and also too, if you ever do want to like revisit that, I'd love to like sit down with a plan, so like I know what you would say, and then also I'd could commission how we would pay you.
No, absolutely not. I'm supporting. No. Do not even think about that. No. It's my honor to do that, and I really want to. I wasn't even able to last week. Like I'm obviously not even doing No More Nostalgia this week. You know, like there's everything kind of got like altered. But so if you want to send me like outside of here, just send me any like if you have a digital version of it in the meantime.
I'm gonna move on because she had made promises to other people too, not just me like this. So the next broken promise is a protest that she was going to instruct in New York City. Her and her husband were hyping up this protest, saying that they were gonna fly out to New York City and protest this band who had a predator in it. I even remember in the Discord, her husband was in a like video chat with other members, and I popped in to see like why was he in a video chat with other members, like just him, because honestly I found that as like a little sus because like he's a man. I just find all men sus. And he's like sharing his screen and people are watching him make like the poster for that protest that they're going to fly out to. But the day of the protest, a member tagged Alexa's husband on the EP Discord and said that they were going to be late to the protest. And the husband replies, "Oh, actually, we aren't going to the protest because we can't afford it." So they never told anybody that the protest was not going to happen. And this person felt betrayed, this member, and also nervous because they were downtown Times Square, New York City, going to protest this ban. So the way that Alexa's husband tried to cover it up was, "Oh, hey, how about you send us a picture of you at the protest and we'll post it on our Instagram." So that is not taking people's time into consideration, because if you know damn well you had this protest coming up and you can't fucking afford the tickets, you tell the people in your Discord right away.
States that Alexa then decided to introduce a listening circle where they could all come together and listen to each other as I guess they all trauma dump on each other, but in a way that's supposed to facilitate healing and helping each other. Great idea, bad execution, because states that the person who was put in charge of this listening circle wasn't qualified as a psychologist nor a therapist.
In the Discord, Alexa introduced a friend who is also a survivor. She introduced this person thinking that they would be a great fit to run a survivor listening circle. And we're going to call this person the survivor listening circle leader. So me and my friend actually in the Discord, we were kind of hesitant with this idea because we did find out that the leader of this circle is not licensed within like therapy or psychology. So it's just like a regular person running a listening circle of survivors that went through like traumatic events. We were unsure how this was going to pan out, but looking back at the downfall of the survivor listening circle, boundaries were definitely crossed. This is why like you need professionals within a setting like this, so boundaries are not crossed. Alexa did state that the survivor listening circle leader was gossiping about survivors in the listening circle.
And then after a while, states that this person who was in charge of the listening circle would gossip about other members within the listening circle and their stories to Alexa. And that apparently, allegedly, according to came from Alexa. She told the group, allegedly.
And Alexa allegedly has screenshots of the survivor listening circle saying horrible things about Alexa and other people. So like I said, it's very he said, she said. Which this rings true because months after the Discord finally closes, Alexa allegedly sends an iMessage to one of the ex-members of Eat Predators. So she sends a screenshot of the survivor listening circle leader talking crap and being mean about this person. So she sends that message and says, "See, they were making fun of you." Months later, like out of nowhere, out of the blue, with the money that Alexa was getting from all these paying members, I'm sure she could have set aside like $100 a month or something to get an actual therapist to be like doing this listening circle if she wanted her members to have it so badly. I do want to note that Alexa never checked in on the listening circle. Later in a live stream, she says that listening groups are just too triggering for her. That's why she never showed up into the survivor listening circle.
I can't do a survivors listening group. I don't have as much time as most people because I'm a mom and I'm doing so many things. And also, I've been in some of those groups and it can be triggering. And I just knew I'm not like a first responder. And I would consider a survivor listening group a first responder position.
Then, as if things couldn't get any more worse and just haphazardly handled within this alleged Discord group, alleges that an actual predator was involved in the Discord group at one point. Now, the alleged predator who was allowed to be in this Discord group, according to actually had moderation roles on Alexa Nikolas's Eat Predators YouTube channel. So a lot of the survivors, allegedly again, according to felt as if they were scared to come forward and tell their stories due to his position and role within the Eat Predators hierarchy.
Someone came forward about a certain Eat Predators member, and this member was Chad. But he immediately got banned when a lot of ladies were coming out saying that Chad was continuously private messaging them and being inappropriate. So this strange thing that all his victims kept saying were that they were scared to come out and tell people in the Discord because Chad was a moderator on Alexa's YouTube live comments. So they thought he was important in the community because Alexa had him as a moderator. Now, to be clear, he was not a moderator in the Discord, a moderator in the YouTube comments. So you would think that your members who are survivors just found out that there's a predator in the Discord. You think you would kind of come into the community and calm everyone down and say like, oh, this is how we're handling the situation. If anyone needs like someone to speak to, reach out here and here, yada, yada, yada. She did none of that, okay? And then she was confronted about it in a voice chat.
Hey, Alexa, are you there? Yeah, you just need to have a little bit of a heads up. So we just had the survivors listening circle, and things got just a little bit heated, and a few people got a little bit upset about some stuff that's been going on in the Discord, and then a bit of an argument ensued at the end. So I just wanted to make you aware that there might be like some tensions.
And I did want to at least say something about, what recently happened when it comes to a specific Discord member that, I sadly learned that was saying inappropriate things to members here of Eat Predators, and you can't, wait, I actually have a delivery coming. Hold on one second. Can you please put the package over the wooden door? Sorry. So I'm saying this. Okay. So you can't, obviously I can't control the whole thing, all we can do is if someone is showing inappropriate, hopefully this person gets my message, but hopefully what we can do is make sure that all of the members in here feel safe and comfortable, going to a mod or messaging me. Obviously, I'm balancing a lot, so I'm not the quickest person, definitely not. But at least for me as well, can reach out to me, and things can be handled. And sometimes that means a ban, obviously, when it comes to extremely inappropriate behavior, disrespectful, harassment, you name it, then that means a serious ban. But I want everyone in the Discord to feel comfortable.
States that at one point a member of the Eat Predators Discord group was bullied, and then there was like this whole confrontation that completely divided the Eat Predators collective Discord group. Some people were on one side, some people were on another side.
Somebody was being bullied, and this is actually a friend of mine, and they were being bullied to the point where like no one was caring, none of the moderators were caring to help, and it was getting bad. Like my friend had to go talk to her therapist. They spent days literally trying to like message moderators about this person. So in the survivor listening circle, as everyone is calming down from the news of Chad, my friend comes in, and she, as she should, confronted her bully in front of everybody. And this kind of triggered a lot of people to be like, oh my God, what is going on? As she's going off at her bully, she's kicked out of the voice chat. And that Survivor Listening Circle leader begins to go off about her issues with Alexa. They go on a rant about how they're so done with Alexa and her unprofessionalism.
M states that this led to many of the people involved in the Eat Predators Discord to feel unsafe, so they all kind of retreated back to private group conversations.
This is when people were officially upset and done with Alexa. So after the listening circle, the Discord went silent. Everybody is triggered and they feel unsafe. So we all kind of like retreated into group chats where we felt the safest with our friends. So everyone is in like all these different group chats. And the only ones that are really posting in like the main Discord are like new people. So after a week of silence in the Discord and everyone is in their group chats, I noticed that the Survivor Listening Circle leader's name turns white. So that means either they got banned or they left the server. I noticed that there was a Survivor Listening Circle coming up. So I was like, oh, I bet you like Alexa's not going to make an announcement about what's going on. So I tag Alexa in the general chat and I have screenshots to show. So I add Alexa and I say, was the Survivor Listening Circle canceled today? I went to the thread to see if a cancellation was announced, but I saw that the Survivor Listening Circle's username turned white. And I asked if it was canceled. So Alexa responds and says, hi, yeah, it's been canceled sadly. I'll be looking for a replacement and will explain to you next week. That's why I haven't been going live, nor have I been active in here. I'm recovering. Thank you at everyone for understanding. Recovering from what? Recovering from all the screenshots that you've been taking and receiving because of the whole like dramatic shit show that you have created back behind the scenes of this whole Discord. Yeah, I bet that takes like a lot out of you, girl.
M states that Alexa decided to do a Guess Who live stream, which she alleges was basically supposed to be like an expose of some kind of the listening circle leader, where Alexa attempted to expose the listening circle leader for all of the various different things it is that they had said and done behind the scenes. However, during this live stream, which M shows with receipts, Alexa shared some DMs that were things that the listening group leader had actually said about Alexa Nikolas, stating that they were scared of Alexa because Alexa pretty much knew everything about them, and that potentially she could leverage that information to her advantage. This is, again, M's account of events.
So when Alexa told me she'll explain next week, what she meant was on Alexa's YouTube channel, she created a time slot for a scheduled live, and the scheduled live was a thumbnail with a Guess Who. So basically the live was exposing the Survivor Listening Circle leader and being mad at her. Now, a little Easter egg that Alexa doesn't know in her Survivor Listening Circle Guess Who video is she's showing all these screenshots so fast that she's going over like things that were not blocked out that she should have blocked out because it's about her. I don't think she realizes that this was in there, and I have the screenshots to prove it. So the main moderator is speaking because it's the gray texter, and the message says, my mental health is so fucking bad, man. This isn't helping. I'm deathly terrified of Alexa. And they continue to say, like, she knows everything about me and the way she retaliates against people. This main moderator was allegedly friends with Alexa for 2+ years, and they're turning around and saying this. Social predators, social predators.
M states that this caused many other survivors in the Discord to feel worried about how much it is that they shared about themselves and their traumas within their designated safe space. We have to remember that at this point, M has already told us that Alexa had told the group directly how the listening group leader would gossip about them outside of the listening circle. So I imagine the feeling of Alexa knows was probably scary to an already traumatized group of survivors.
Members to this day are nervous to speak up about Alexa in fear of what she would lie or post about them. So Alexa created fear within her movement that was supposed to support survivors and gather us in a safe community to feel safe and heard.
And finally, M talks about something called a Spot Me Fund, which was a fundraiser that was created within the Discord to help survivors who may be going through some financial hardship. I will just let M take it away and she can explain in full this one.
The Survivor Spot Me Fund came about because the main moderator decided to help Eat Predators member raise money for their surgery. The main moderator and others asked Alexa if she can promote the Spot Me Fund for the Eat Predators member on her YouTube channel, which she did. I remember her mentioning it a few times, and they even had a game night in the Discord to raise money for this fund. However, where Alexa went wrong with allowing this situation to happen was she left it in the hands of the main moderator. So this main moderator allegedly locked the survivor out of the GoFundMe account and allegedly took money from the fund. However, Alexa stands up for the main moderator, saying that they didn't take anything out of the funds, that it was the survivor who the funds were for themselves took money out of the funds, not the main moderator. Now, this started a whole nother he said, she said debate with who took the money from the survivor fund, who took the cookie from the cookie jar, literally. This is where Alexa begins to claim that the survivor was not using the funds for their medical bills and surgery. She then began to invalidate the severity of the surgery, which Alexa and her husband allegedly began harassing the survivor for their medical documents to prove their condition and to prove their surgery. Now, I don't know if Alexa is aware of this, but that is a HIPAA violation. You just can't demand to look at somebody's medical records. So this is wild because allegedly Alexa was friends with the survivor the Spot Me Fund is for. I want to point out that the major flaw Alexa made with the survivor fund is she was not having her hands fully active in the fund account. Too many people, too many hands in the pot. So I feel like since Alexa agreed for this fund to be done by her main moderator and to be promoted to people in her community, I feel like she should have taken the extra step to have her hands fully in and watching the money. She should have made a deal where Alexa and the survivor the fund is for have access to the fund account. She had this cash flow being moderated by 20-something-year-olds. When it comes to a big stack of money, I don't care. No matter what, money is money. Somebody is going to be tempted if no one is watching the cash flow. If this survivor fund was too much for Alexa to handle, she could have just said no. I don't want this going through the Discord. However, I noticed this trend with her. She will agree to something and then not fully be on board on it and then ghost the idea, and then something bad comes of it because she is playing hot and cold.
So as we can see, many of the questions that Kat outlined for Alexa were many of the same grievances that M shared in her video, Survivors of Alexa Nikolas, which is linked in the description box down below if you want to watch the full video. I definitely suggest you go ahead and check that out. M states that she has even more receipts to corroborate what it is that she is saying. But I do think that all of this does go to show, whether true or not, whether over-exaggerated or underestimated, that Alexa Nikolas had a already terrible, trash, garbage reputation before Kat Paige even uttered a single word about whether the case was sealed or not. And just simply judging by the amount of people who have ran to my inbox, not just over a year ago, but even more recently as today, to share their stories with me of how they believe that they are survivors of Alexa Nikolas, that should honestly show you that her reputation literally was done before Kat. So with that being said, let's get straight into the conclusion. Alexa, I still maintain that your reputation was ruined long before Kat came into the picture. Long before the sealed versus unsealed debacle with you and Kat Paige. Purely not just based on the questions that Kat asked you, pointing to your community potentially crumbling right beneath you, but also even now there are still people claiming to be survivors of you. Even today, right now, a couple of seconds ago, I got yet another message from a person claiming to be the victim of you. And I don't, nor will I ever respect you based on the fact that you will continuously lie and claim things that are patently false. Like the statement that Drake, once he found out what the age was of the victim, ceased communication immediately.
When he realized what her age was, he disengaged speaking to her immediately.
When the Sweet 16 card shows otherwise. But realistically, just to give you the grace it is that you feel you deserve from me, I personally couldn't do what you attempted to do. Badly. To build a community of empowered survivors. Because I do think that as survivors, we also need to take time to look after ourselves as part of our own personal healing journeys. So overseeing various different other people and attempting to manage their emotions, I think for me personally would be just a little bit too much. Especially when you have your own shit to unpack and your own shit that you're going through. And that is the only grace that I will give you. I think it genuinely started with positive intentions, but it just ended so incredibly badly. But what's needed right now is just a little bit of accountability. Stop using Kat Tembage as the scapegoat for things that are clearly part of your many, many failures. The mere idea that you would sit down on Ethan Klein's platform and disengage from his pedo troll past, a past of which he has stated openly and publicly that he doesn't regret, to join forces on your mutual hatred for Kat Tembage means that ultimately you are putting you first before your survivors, the collective that you started. And girl, you have to see how this looks. And if not, take a cold, hard look in the mirror and not see what you've become, but who you've become. And ask yourself, was any of this even worth it? You built Eat Predators on the promise of safety, a refuge for survivors, a movement louder than the silence itself. And for a while, it worked. People believed, people trusted. But behind the curtain, it wasn't about victims anymore. It was about you. Every spotlight moment, every post meant to help was really a mirror, feeding your own ego and not the people that you claimed to protect. And when the truth finally cracked through, when the survivors who you had sworn in to shield saw their own voices twisted into weapons for your personal gain, the empire collapsed. Your reputation, once untouchable under the spotlight of the Quiet on Set documentary, now lays in ruins. And the bitter irony is the person who set out to eat predators became consumed with their own hunger. Anyway, that is about it for today's video. I don't really think I want to continue covering Alexa and Nikolas. To be honest, I think I'm pretty much done, so hopefully this is the end of that. If she responds, I'm very unlikely going to respond back because I feel like she's very relentless and this could go on forever and ever and ever. I've said my piece, I've made my point, I'm not going to respect you. Fuck you, and I'd do it again. I will say, though, that there are so many people coming forward about you, Alexa. There's so many people. To the point that during this filming, I've had to turn my phone on airplane mode because so many people are sharing their stories. So for me personally, I don't think it's wild that Kat would want to ask you these questions and ask you for an answer to these questions. And if they felt pointed, it's because they were. However, after listening to the victim stories, when I fully engage with these people in the next couple of days, if I do feel like there is compelling information that should be shared, I will definitely use my platform to do so. But otherwise, outside of that, if there's not enough information there, I'm just gonna let that die. And Alexa, I hope that Predators just literally burns to the fucking ground because you should not be in control of such vulnerable people. Anyway, with that being said, tell me what it is that you guys think in the comment section down below. Petty Gang, thank you once again for so much support. We are on Twitch. Definitely go and check that out. It's PaigeChristieUK on all of the socials. And with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day or evening, whatever the hell it is that you are doing. And until next time, you beautiful badass bitches. It's been Paige. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.